Well. That F1 championship battle was rather hectic and one of the far more memorable and engrossing ones to watch after that absolute shit show that was in Saudi Arabia. I literally knew it was going to be a shit show given the track design. Seriously, that thing looks like a fucking sperm whale. Tell me, and try to argue with me that it doesn't look like a sperm cell. Try to convince me otherwise, because it does look like a freaking sperm. Like, what the actual beautiful, honest, entire fuck? What the actual fuck? You see, I am happy that Max Verstappen finally got his first championship. Congrats, bud. You earned it. But did it really have to come down with FIA's poor officiating? Did it really? No. I mean, because if I were Lewis, even the most sane Lewis Hamilton fans, I'd be fuming. Really, really, really fucking fuming. Because this was not a very good way to... If you thought NASCAR's manufactured drone was bad, well, although, to be fair, F1 doesn't have playoff systems like NASCAR does, which they make it exceedingly obvious that they, meaning NASCAR, wants to ensue and egg on and exasperate drama. F1, on the other hand, is a lot more complicated. This was definitely worse than the 2021 spring Kansas race, because the caution for the tire was the right call, but the timing to wait out Chris Busch for Chris Buescher's team to get it to retrieve it, or the NASCAR officials, I can't remember which. It couldn't have been more absolutely poor. So instead of F1 trying to sophisticate with the scenarios of the championship battle by red flagging the race after that crash, they decided to narrow down the amount of laps they need to work with. You know, this is what we get as sports fans, more sports fans, to be more complex. You want to wither away from the absolute toxic drama that's the NASCAR fan base and sometimes the NASCAR product itself, only for it to seep over to Formula One, the global sport, because it just, and no matter what it is that you do, you just can't escape this absolute atrocious, piss poor officiating that tends to just seep to any motorsport that you are trying to watch as escapism from the sport you previously passionately watched. Because, well, seriously, they couldn't have just emphasized the value of the race by red flagging the race until everything was cleaned up. Like, how come no one thinks this through? How come no one puts any real vital emphasis on such fate-determining races such as this one? Such as the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. It's not rocket science to figure this out. It's as simple as red flagging the race if it's coming down to the wire, but no. They just love that drama and that Michael Bay action. Don't that, my dudes? You nailed it, FIA. That's how stakes get amped up. I love it. Don't get me wrong, my dudes. I'm actually really happy Max Verstappen won. I'm not a very big Lewis Hamilton fan myself. I can't really stand much of his stance at all. Especially when they remind me of a lot of how the Chase Elliott stands can be. Yes, by the way, I'm even admitting that there's a lot of Chase Elliott stunts that are absolutely cringeworthy. But it really did not need to be this way, because it just reminds me of how happy but also kind of disappointed I was during the NASCAR COTA Grand Prix, if you could actually call it the Grand Prix, but whatever. Because, well, I was happy Chase Elliott won, but under weather, not so much, because it just felt so anticlimactic and insipid. And in this case, it's much worse, because FIA really should have examined how they're gonna handle late race cautions before winding down the races under the safety car. You just, I don't understand how FIA could just reciprocate with those scenarios, but they really should have looked at this and think this through. But I guess thinking is too much for them, too convenient for them, but whatever. Hell yeah, Max Verstappen. Sorry, Lewis Hamilton, you really gave it your all. You really did put in the hardest effort to try and win a historical 8th championship, but don't worry, there will come a time where you might get that 8th championship. As someone who's not a big fan of yours, good job, Max. Sorry, Lewis. And I can't say this was all that bad of a season for Alonso. This was probably one of the better winless seasons, if I do say so myself. I mean, the dude even got a podium for the first time since, like, 2014. So I can't complain about that. So yeah, fuck FIA. Fuck piss poor officiating in motorsports in general. And fuck all their ass kissers. So yeah, that's all I got for my take. I hope I'm as concise and comprehensible as I possibly can. I always try to conduct myself as such. So hope y'all have been having a good winter and having a good off season. Well, it's not winter yet, since it hasn't hit December 20th to 23rd, but whatever. Space out, everybody, and have a nice